Ever planted grocery store ginger and watched it just sit there for months doing nothing? Or worse, it rotted before it even sprouted. I wasted 2 entire growing seasons making this exact mistake. The problem wasn't me, it was the ginger I was using. Today, I'm showing you the 3 best ginger varieties that actually thrive in home gardens, and exactly where to get rhizomes that are ready to grow, not treated to sit on store shelves. Quick favor, if you want more content like this, hit subscribe, drop a like, and comment below with what you're growing this season. All right, let's get into it. Growing your own ginger is one of the most rewarding crops you can plant. The flavor is completely different from store-bought, more vibrant, more aromatic, with this brightness that you just don't get from commercial ginger. And it's actually easier than you think once you know which variety to grow. Ginger grows from a rhizome, that knobby underground stem you see at the store. When you plant it, shoots emerge from those little bumps called eyes, growing into tall, leafy stalks about 3 to 4 feet high. The plant captures sunlight through those leaves and stores all that energy back into the rhizome underground. That's what we harvest. Here's the key thing. Ginger needs 8 to 10 months of warm, frost-free weather to produce a good harvest. If you're in zones 9 through 11, you can grow it outdoors year-round. Zones 7, 8, or cooler, start it indoors early, grow in containers you can move, or treat it as an annual and harvest before frost. I grow successfully in Zone 8 every year. Now, the most important decision you'll make is choosing the right variety. This is where most people mess up. The grocery store's ginger is usually Chinese ginger or yellow ginger. It's grown commercially because it produces large rhizomes and ships well. But here's the problem. Commercial ginger is treated with growth inhibitors to prevent sprouting on shelves. That's why it just sits there when you plant it. Even if it sprouts, Chinese ginger is more fibrous and less flavorful. It's bred for yield and shelf life, not for home gardens. Here are my top 3 varieties for home growers. Number 1, Hawaiian ginger. This is my absolute favorite. It's been selected over generations specifically for flavor and garden performance. It sprouts faster, grows more vigorously, and the flavor is incredible. You get classic ginger spice balanced with subtle floral notes you won't find in store-bought ginger. Less fibrous texture, easier to use in cooking. I've grown Hawaiian ginger for 4 years, and it outperforms everything else every single time. Number 2, Bubba Blue ginger. Harder to find, but absolutely worth it. This variety has beautiful blue-tinged skin and phenomenal flavor. Spicier than Hawaiian with an almost citrusy undertone that adds serious complexity to dishes. Amazing in marinades, fresh ginger tea, or grated over vegetables. You'll need to order from specialty nurseries, but the flavor is outstanding. Number 3, baby ginger. Here's what most people don't know. Baby ginger isn't a different variety. It's regular ginger harvested early, before the skin toughens and flesh gets fibrous. Any variety can be harvested as baby ginger at 4 to 6 months instead of waiting for full maturity. Baby ginger is tender, juicy, and much milder. If you've had pickled ginger at sushi restaurants, that's baby ginger. So depending on your use, you can harvest some early and let the rest mature. You might also see galanga while researching. It looks like ginger and it's in the same family, but it's a different plant with a sharp, piney flavor used in Thai cooking. Worth growing if you love Thai food, but it's not a ginger substitute. So, to recap varieties. Want the best flavor with the easiest growing? Hawaiian ginger. Want something unique? Bubba Blue. Want tender, mild ginger for pickling or raw use? Harvest early as baby ginger. Now let's talk about sourcing rhizomes, because honestly, this is just as critical as choosing the right variety. In fact, you could pick the perfect variety, but if you start with poor quality rhizomes, you're setting yourself up for failure before you even begin. The biggest mistake I see over and over is people buying ginger from grocery stores and expecting it to grow. I get why it's tempting. It's convenient, it's right there when you're shopping for groceries, and it seems logical. But here's what most people don't realize. The vast majority of commercial ginger has been treated with growth inhibitors. These are chemical sprays applied specifically to prevent sprouting while the ginger sits on store shelves. Grocery stores don't want ginger sprouting in the produce section, so they treat it to stay dormant. That's exactly why when you plant it, it just sits there doing absolutely nothing for weeks or even months. Even organic grocery store ginger, which hasn't been chemically treated, has usually been kept in cold storage for so long that it's gone deeply dormant. Cold temperatures essentially put ginger to sleep. After extended cold storage, many rhizomes have lost their vigor or their ability to sprout at all. Can you occasionally get lucky and find grocery store ginger that sprouts? Sure, I won't say it never happens, but your success rate is dramatically lower, and you're going to waste precious time waiting for something that might never grow. What you need to do instead is buy what's called seed ginger from reputable nurseries or online suppliers. Seed ginger is rhizomes that were grown specifically for the purpose of planting. They haven't been treated with any chemicals, they've been stored in proper conditions to maintain viability, and they're ready to grow the moment you put them in soil. Trust me, the difference is night and day. You can find seed ginger at specialty tropical plant nurseries, from online suppliers that focus on edible and exotic plants, and sometimes at local plant sales or farmers markets in spring. When I first started growing ginger seriously, I ordered mine from an online tropical plant nursery, and those rhizomes sprouted in under 2 weeks and took off like rocket. When you're selecting rhizomes, whether buying online or in person, here's exactly what to look for. You want firm, plump rhizomes that feel heavy and dense for their size. If it feels light or hollow, pass on it. The skin should be smooth and tight against the flesh, not wrinkled, shriveled, or loose. Look closely at the surface for visible growth eyes. These are small pointed bumps or nubs, kind of like the eyes on a potato. These are where your new shoots will emerge from. The more eyes you see on a rhizome, the more shoots you'll get, which translates directly to a bigger, bushier plant and ultimately a much larger harvest. Avoid anything that feels even slightly soft or mushy when you press on it. Avoid rhizomes with any visible mold, dark spots, or areas that look rotted or decayed. A healthy ginger rhizome should smell fresh, clean, and aromatic when you lightly scratch the skin with your fingernail. If it smells musty, sour, or off in any way, don't buy it. Pro tip: if you know anyone growing ginger locally, ask for pieces from their harvest. Locally grown, recently harvested ginger is often the most vigorous for replanting. I save pieces from my harvest every year. Haven't bought ginger rhizomes in 5 seasons. Let's get into planting. I prefer containers because you control the soil completely. Ginger needs loose, rich, well-draining soil. Heavy clay causes rot. Sandy soil drains too fast. You want loamy soil with plenty of compost. For containers, I mix 60% quality potting soil with 40% compost. Some add perlite for extra drainage. Works great. The container should be wide and shallow, not tall and narrow, because rhizomes spread horizontally. At least 12 inches deep and 18 inches wide for 2 or 3 pieces. Want a bigger harvest? Use larger containers. Planting in the ground? Choose partial shade. Ginger doesn't like full blazing sun. It evolved on forest floors under tree canopies. Dappled light or morning sun with afternoon shade is ideal. Too much direct sun scorches leaves and stresses plants. Before planting, soak rhizomes overnight in room temperature water. Rehydrate them and wake them up. Some use diluted seaweed solution for extra boost. How to plant? Large rhizomes can be cut into pieces with at least 2 or 3 growth eyes each. Let cut pieces dry for a day or 2 so the callus lets over. Prevents rot. Plant each piece 2 inches deep, eyes facing up. Space multiple pieces 8 inches apart. Water soil well after planting, then back off. Keep it lightly moist until active growth. Overwatering before active growth is the fastest way to rot rhizomes. Once shoots appear, usually 2 to 4 weeks, start watering more regularly. The temperature is huge. Ginger loves warmth. Ideal range is 75 to 85 degrees. Growth slows below 70. Below 50 can damage plants. I start mine indoors late February or early March, 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. I use a heat mat set to 75 degrees to speed sprouting. Once nighttime temps stay above 55, I move containers outside to a shaded spot. Humidity matters. Ginger comes from humid tropics. If growing indoors or in dry climates, mist leaves occasionally. Outdoors and partial shade, usually less of an issue. Watering is about balance. Ginger likes consistently moist soil, never soggy. I water containers when the top inch feels dry. Hot summer might mean every other day. Cooler weather may be once or twice a week. Never let soil dry completely. Never let it stay waterlogged. Mulch heavily, 3 to 4 inches of straw or shredded leaves. Keeps soil moist, keeps roots cool, adds organic matter as it breaks down. I've noticed much bigger harvests when I'm generous with mulch. Ginger is a fairly heavy feeder. Fertilize every 2 to 3 weeks from when shoots emerge until late summer. Use balanced organic fertilizer or slightly higher phosphorus, NPK ratio like 5:5:5 or 4:6:4. Phosphorus supports rhizome development. I also side dress with compost once or twice during the season. Around midsummer, pull back mulch, add fresh compost around plants, and replace mulch. Give slow-release nutrient boost. Here's something critical about fertilizing. Don't go overboard with nitrogen. Nitrogen is the first number on fertilizer packages, and it's great for leafy growth. But too much nitrogen means all the plant's energy goes into making bigger, bushier leaves instead of building those rhizomes underground. You'll end up with a gorgeous plant and tiny, disappointing rhizomes at harvest. I've made this mistake. It's frustrating. Stick with balanced fertilizers where the numbers are close together, like 5:5:5. If the leaves are yellow but watering is correct, that's nutrient deficiency. The plant is hungry. Give it liquid fertilizer like fish emulsion or liquid kelp. You'll see improvement within a week or two. As ginger grows through summer, minimal maintenance is needed. The plant takes care of itself. Keep up with watering, fertilize every couple weeks, maintain that mulch layer. Dead or yellowing leaves at the base? Trim them for tidiness, but it's not necessary. The plant sheds old leaves naturally. During really hot spells above 95 degrees, I move my containers to shadier spots, maybe under a tree or on the north side of my house for afternoon heat protection. Extreme heat stresses plants and slows growth. Containers give you that flexibility. Growing in the ground? Make sure you choose a spot with good shade from the start. Common problems and solutions. First, rhizomes are not sprouting. Most likely the soil is too cold. Ginger needs at least 70 degrees to sprout reliably. Planted too early in cold soil? Rhizomes are dormant, waiting for warmth, or they've rotted. Another possibility is treated rhizomes or lost viability from poor storage. If nothing sprouts after 6 weeks with warm soil, dig one up and check. Mushy or bad smell? Rotted. Start over with fresh seed ginger. Still firm and healthy? Be patient. Sometimes ginger takes time. Yellowing leaves need detective work. The most common cause is overwatering. Stick your finger into soil a couple inches. Soggy or waterlogged? You're watering too much. Cut back and ensure good drainage. Check container drainage holes aren't blocked. In the ground, amend soil or switch to raised beds. Underwatering also causes yellowing, especially if leaf edges are brown and crispy. The plant is thirsty. Water more frequently and deeply. Light, shallow watering doesn't help. The third possibility is nutrient deficiency. Fertilize and watch for improvement. Some yellowing of lower, older leaves is normal as plants mature, especially late season. Don't panic over a few yellow leaves. Brown, scorched leaf tips? Almost always too much direct sun or not enough water. Ginger evolved as a forest floor plant under tree canopies. It needs dappled, filtered light, not blazing sun all day. Getting intense afternoon sun? Move to shadier spots or set up shade cloth. Growing in the ground? Plant something taller nearby for relief. Another cause is inconsistent watering. Soil drying out too much between waterings scorches leaf tips. Water consistently, keeping soil evenly moist. Mulch helps tremendously. Root rot is serious, caused by overwatering or poor drainage. Symptoms are wilting even with moist soil or foul smell from soil. Act fast. Dig up plants, inspect rhizomes, cut away soft, mushy, discolored, or rotting sections. Get down to healthy, firm tissue. Let healthy sections sit in shade for a day so the cut to callus over. Replant in fresh, well-draining soil. Be careful about watering going forward. Prevent root rot by never letting ginger sit waterlogged. Ensure drainage holes in containers, good draining soil, and water only when the top layer feels dry. Pests generally aren't major problems. Ginger has natural compounds many insects don't like. But occasionally issues pop up. Aphids cluster on new growth and suck sap. Spider mites cause stippling and yellowing. Both can be knocked off with strong water spray from the hose. Blast them every few days. Bad infestation? Use insecticidal soap. Fungus gnats are tiny flies hovering around soil. Show up when soil stays too wet, mostly annoying. Let the topsoil layer dry between waterings and they disappear. Healthy ginger in good conditions with proper watering and nutrition rarely has serious pest issues. Plants are tough. Harvest time is where hard work pays off. Ginger is ready when it leaves yellow and dies back naturally, usually late fall, 8 to 10 months after planting. For me, October or November. Leaves fading to yellow, stems drying and falling over, the plant finished its cycle, done putting energy into rhizomes. That's harvest time. 2 harvest options. Want baby ginger? Incredibly tender, juicy, mild with thin skin? Start harvesting at 4 to 6 months. Don't wait for dieback. Carefully dig around the plant edge, don't disturb main roots too much. Snap off small rhizome pieces from outer edges. The plant keeps growing. Continue harvesting throughout the season. Baby ginger doesn't store long because thin skin makes it susceptible to drying and mold. But the flavor and texture are incredible, delicate, less fibrous, perfect for pickling, slicing raw in salads, making fresh ginger juice, so bright and aromatic. Want mature ginger for long-term storage and a big harvest? Wait until the plant dies back completely. All leaves yellowed, stems dried and fallen. Dig up the entire clump. Containers are easy. Tip container onto tarp, dump soil, sift through with hands picking out rhizomes, like treasure hunting. In-ground planting, use garden fork, not shovel. The fork is less likely to slice rhizomes. Dig from outside edges, working inward. Loosen soil around, lift whole clump. Healthy mature plant, a single spring piece can become massive clumps weighing a pound or more by fall. My first successful harvest, I planted 4 small pieces, harvested over 5 pounds. Gave it to neighbors. It was really satisfying. After harvesting, brush off loose dirt. Don't wash if storing. Water promotes mold, ruins harvest. Let rhizomes dry in a shaded, ventilated area for a few days. Not direct sun, somewhere with air circulation. Store mature ginger in cool, dark places like pantry. Keep several weeks, sometimes months. Long-term storage? Freeze whole, grate while frozen. Peel and grate fresh, freeze in ice cube trays. Slice thin, dry in a dehydrator, grind into powder. Homemade ginger powder has incredible flavor. Save the best, healthiest rhizomes with growth eyes for replanting. Pick nicest, firmest ones without damage. Bonus tip saves money and frustration. Overwinter ginger. Keep it going indefinitely. Self-sustaining cycle. After fall harvest, select 3 or 4 best rhizomes with healthy eyes, no damage. Don't wash. Brush dirt, let dry for a few days. Store in a paper bag with slightly damp peat moss or coconut coir, just barely moist, not wet. Keep in a cool, dark spot, 50 to 60 degrees. The basement is ideal. Unheated closet works. Check monthly through winter. Should stay firm and plump. Peat moss feels dry? Light mist of water. Be conservative. Too much moisture causes rot. Any getting soft or moldy? Remove immediately. In late winter, February or March, bring stored rhizomes to a warm spot. Start the planting process again. These rhizomes came from your garden, adapted to your conditions. Sprout faster, grow more vigorously, produce bigger harvests than purchased ones. I've done this for 5 years. I haven't bought ginger since the first season. Plants get better, stronger, and more productive every year. Incredibly satisfying, self-sustaining supply. That's everything. Hawaiian or Bubba Blue varieties. Proper seed ginger from reputable suppliers. Correct planting and care. Troubleshooting problems. Harvesting baby and mature ginger. Saving and overwintering rhizomes so you never buy ginger again. Growing ginger seems exotic or intimidating, especially if you failed with grocery store ginger. But with the right variety and techniques, you'll wonder why you didn't start sooner. Rewarding, low-maintenance crop once established. Nothing like using fresh ginger from your garden in cooking. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more gardening content. Drop your questions or ginger growing experiences in the comments. I read every one. Thanks for watching. Happy gardening. See you.